Going in three, two, one.
Hello and welcome to Move or Improve with Debbie. I'm Debbie Miller and I wanted to talk to you about something rather important today. If you've read my book, Move or Improve, The Baby Boomer's Guide to Housing Options and How to Choose What's Right for You, it's available on Amazon if you haven't seen it. But if you've listened to my podcast even, you'll have an idea of how I feel about the difference between downsizing, decluttering, or minimalist living. And that's what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to focus on the definition of downsizing, what is decluttering and what is minimalism. They're different concepts and they require different approaches. So if you're going to age in place, you need to seriously think about this. And if you're going to move, you obviously have to think about it because you're not going to pay a mover all this money to move all your stuff that you don't even remember what it is. So let's talk a little bit about what to do in each situation. The accumulation of stuff begins when you buy your first home and you start furnishing it. Over the years, the amount of possessions grows. And if you have family, children and their possessions will add to the collection. Consumerism entices us to buy the newest of whatever they advertise and you think you need. Or you travel and bring back items to remember the trip. Life is what happens when you're making plans. But then you reach retirement and voila, a big change is in store. Decisions have to be made, or some people just postpone making a decision. Should you stay in your home and age in place? Is the home too large to maintain? What do you have to do to make it livable for you and make it safe? What do you do with all your stuff? Will you really need it when you retire? And again, do you want to pay a mover to pack and move all the items in your house? I don't think so. Perhaps you've thought about downsizing and moving to a smaller place to live. So you want to trade your 5-bedroom, 4,000 square foot home for a 2 or 3 bedroom condo. That may be just what you need. Well, downsizing involves getting rid of many of the things that you own so that you can take the items with you that you love and place them in your new home. You won't need all the beds and sofas and tables and chairs you have in your big house. And you don't need the excess furniture from your family room or basement where your teenagers watch the football game. Getting rid of the extras is downsizing. After all, there's only so much space in one place. Now, I'm a big cheerleader for getting rid of excess stuff while you're able to do so on your own. That's very important. I've been helping seniors and adult children sell the family home for over 25 years, and I've never had a client who didn't feel overwhelmed with deciding how to dispose of or distribute their excess belongings. Deciding what to keep and what to sell and what to give away is very stressful, and it takes time. You don't realize how much stuff you have until you start sorting through it. The taking time part is what people don't allow for. I mean, they find a new house that they want to move to, and they find out from the builder or whoever that it'll be ready in 60 days, and they haven't done a thing to their house to get it ready. That's going to be a fun time. I've had clients who are in good health, and they postpone the decision making. And then they have a stroke or a heart attack or some other health issue that prevents them from participating in the downsizing process. Then others have to come in and make judgment calls on items to keep, items to get rid of. And believe me, they're going to make different decisions than you would. It's very satisfying to know that you've sorted through your papers, photos, books, memorabilia, to not only talk about the history and the meaning and the importance of those items, but to save your loved ones from making decisions as to their importance and disposal. In all likelihood, your china isn't going to be welcomed by your children any more than your dining room table and chairs or the piano in the rec room or collections of things that were important to you, but not to your loved ones. So you need time to find a museum, a group, an individual, or an auction house who can keep, auction, or consign or donate these items. Estate sale companies require a minimum amount to sell, and you will pay a premium for junk haulers who charge to fill up a dumpster. And I know I've said it many times, so pardon me if I repeat myself, but you want to start while you're in control. Too early is never too late. The sorting process can take months. Older adults need to focus for a few hours a day for 2 or 3 days a week so they don't get too tired. And lifting heavy boxes and moving furniture is exhausting. But you will be amazed at how freeing it is to clean out the clutter. And by starting the downsizing early, you'll discover how much you own and you can find out how much it's worth. And if not, you can get rid of it. Attics, basements, and garages hold treasure and trash. The older you get, the harder it is to start. You don't have the energy or the strength. Many of my clients have stored items in the basement or the attic where mold or mildew or critters have invaded. You need to get in control of these areas before it's too late. If you become incapacitated or worse, you're leaving the decision making to your spouse or children or an executor who has no idea what pictures or papers are important. That's very important. Is there a right age to downsize? Well, starting early is best. Waiting till you're too frail or unwell or too overwhelmed to do the job is the wrong age. Now, decluttering is a little different. It's beneficial to declutter when, even if you're going to stay in your home and age in place, or if you're going to move. Decluttering is getting rid of trash, but more than that, it's even organizing what you have so you can find it and use it again. You may not be ready to move yet, or you've determined that you like your home and you can adapt it to your needs as you grow older, and that's great too. But the need for a clear pathway through the home, cleaning out closets, getting rid of stuff you don't need or use, clothes that you don't wear anymore, junk mail you haven't opened. That's very important in living life to the fullest. It's about removing useless items from your home and your life. Now, I've worked with many hoarders over the years, and I find they have a great deal of trouble letting go of things that they'll never use, even though they think they will. Decluttering really is changing your mindset. It's important for your health and your well-being too. So by getting rid of stuff, you're giving yourself the opportunity to get rid of what's not necessary so you can focus on what is important to you at this point of your life. Yes, you're paring down the items that may need to be moved, but more importantly, you're improving your emotional health because you're satisfied with fewer possessions. No longer do you have the worry of maintaining them. Someone else can now enjoy the books, artwork, knickknacks, more. Decluttering is getting rid of trash or items that you don't use anymore. You get rid of potentially harmful things that may be impacting your life at home. Okay, so we've downsized and decluttered. So what is minimalism? That is a hot topic right now. And how can you make it work for you? Well, minimalism is letting go of things that don't work for you anymore so you can focus on what you want for your current stage of life. Whereas downsizing doesn't always make life any simpler. Whereas downsizing doesn't always make life any simpler. It just means having less stuff. Minimalism helps you create a life that you enjoy for whatever stage of life you're in. You don't necessarily have to sell everything to live simply. You should focus on doing only what feels right as of that moment. Downsizing would be getting rid of the extra furniture in the bedroom so guests can comfortably spend time with you. But what if you don't want to have guests visit? Or they rarely visit and you're keeping it as a guest room just in case? Well, perhaps that guest bedroom that's full of furniture and stuff could be converted to a studio for your art projects. It's okay to not like having people visit. They can stay at a hotel close by. Why not use it for yourself? Decluttering is fitting your things into your space and getting rid of what you don't need. Minimalism is changing the way you think. It's a mindset. And you thinking about where you are right now. So if you've made the decision to age in place, you'll need to change your mindset to make your home safe to live in comfortably. Yes, decluttering is part of that process, but by changing the way you think about the floor plan and how you use your home, you can change your mindset about how to best use the space to make it safe and functional for your future years. The benefits of a minimalist lifestyle for older adults is, well, it allows you to have a simpler life. You'll have time to focus on what's important to you. You'll save money because you're intentional about the use of what money you have. Minimalism allows you to have a simpler lifestyle. The children are grown, your job is less hectic, or you've retired. So now you have time to focus on what's important to you. So by getting rid of things you no longer use, you free your time to do things you want to do. The more things you own, the more your things own you. It's liberating to not have to worry about keeping things tidy and clean all the time, especially in rooms that you don't even use. This applies to your possessions as well as your home. Now, many seniors decide that the house they are in is too big and they opt to move into something smaller with less maintenance. And that's great because it frees you up to travel, visit your grandchildren, start a new hobby, just have fun in life. And even if you decide to age in place, you will live better if you adopt the minimalist approach. At the very least, declutter your space to make it easier to navigate the hallways and other space in your home. And, when you get older, your cooking habits change. You're not cooking for a family anymore. It's just you and maybe you and your spouse. Or if you're living solo, sort through your kitchen and sell the small appliances or cookbooks you don't use anymore. Sift through the clothes in your closet. Sell and donate clothes you no longer need. Let somebody else enjoy them. A big advantage of sorting through things is that you can organize important documents and separate them from things to be thrown away. Your children or your executor will appreciate your doing this. Boxes of photos, that's a problem. If you don't know who the people in the picture are, how can you expect your children or anybody else to know? So write on the back who is in the photo, and that helps with keeping the history of the family alive. And if you don't know who's in the photo, why are you keeping it? You may not know the year the photo was taken, but the name and how that person is related can be a big help for future generations. So what are some tips on how to organize your home? I'm not talking about modifying your home to accommodate a wheelchair or a walker. I just want to be sure that your home is safe and comfortable. Too much clutter will pose a health risk, and that can lead to a fall, which then leads to a hospital stay and perhaps assisted living. And then your goals of living at home and aging in place are thwarted. So furniture that's too close to each other so that a walker or wheelchair can't navigate easily, get rid of stuff that you don't need. If you don't need that chair or it's totally worn out, it doesn't hurt to take it away. You might have a bathroom medicine cabinet with expired medications. That's an issue. So if you don't have access to them anymore because they're outdated, get rid of them. You may have some kitchen items that you used to use every day and they're hard to reach. Do you really need that blender from the 80s? Do you need all the extra pots and pans? Do you need cookie sheets? Do you need all the stuff you used to use? Organizing paperwork can become a challenge too. You can have books and magazines on the floor. I had a client once who had several months of unopened mail on the floor in her dining room. She just never bothered with it. And in it were bills that she should have paid, lots of things that were important, not just junk mail, but she wasn't capable of really figuring that out. And you can shred papers that are no longer needed. You don't need to save utility bills for 5 or 6 or 7 years or longer. Your tax returns, yes, save those for the prescribed time, but you can also create a digital record as well. And if you're not sure about what to save, consult with your accountant or lawyer. You can improve table space by moving knickknacks from the tabletop. You can have somebody come in and build or buy some bookshelves so you can keep items that you want and have them on display. The items that you use regularly, though, should be placed where you can easily reach them. Don't let stacks of mail pile up, as I said, especially if you tend to throw them in a pile on the floor like my client did.
You want to create a bin or a basket and put bills to pay in that basket and items that you need to remember to